Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss about the SD-WAN director. So in our last session, we discussed about what are the different components involved in the SD-WAN, which are basically analytics, director, controller, and the CPE. And we also discussed in a much more detail in what all are the features and what are the capabilities of individual components, right? So today we're going to basically brush up and see more on what all capabilities does the SD-WAN director give. So today this video is more on SD-WAN director. What all components are there? What all the features? How does it help in troubleshooting, maintaining the boxes, etc. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about our lab director, which we usually use it for our POC customers. So this is our SD-WAN director dashboard. If you can see, there are a lot of options over here. So let me start from the beginning. Right? So first things first, right? So first we need to know what all organizations are part of this particular director. So since we discussed, a director is a multi-tenant platform. So in our day-to-day production directors, we'll have n number of customers. So for that, we need to log into the administration tab, organizations. It will list down all the organizations that are created in this director. So since it's part of demo and POC, you will see some random organization name, but the actual customer organization name will always relate to the legal entity name it belongs to. Like for example, SIFI Technologies, right? So we call it as SIFI. SIFI is a legal entity name. So that will be referred here as the organization name. So this video is not about telling how to create and so forth. It is more towards what all features and options are available in the director. So now that we have covered the organization, which is basically we create the organization here. So step one is done. So to see the list of organizations, I also have a filtering option. Let's say I want to search organization name called as entertainment. Right? So it'll list down. It'll also show me what is the org ID, which is 19, and all this information. So this organization tab basically gives me a glimpse on what all are the configured organizations part of this director. Appliances. Appliances gives me the complete list of CPEs, which is basically the SD-WAN routers which are deployed in the customer network. If you can see, there are different sections over here. So the first is the host name. So this is a standard CPE host name that we follow, which is IND followed by 2 to 3 digit character city name, a 10-digit link ID, and a 3-character city differentiator. And if required, let's say customer is on a building called as Tidal or any other building name, we can call it. We can add that as a host name. The second, which is called as management address, this is basically the ESP tunnel interface. So if you guys, if you fellas have listened to the older videos, I have clearly differentiated what is an ESP tunnel, what is a VXLAN tunnel. So the director will always try to reach the CPE based on the ESP tunnel interface. So let's say, for example, this customer's tunnel IP is 10.1.9.64.146. Right. So that's the tunnel IP where I will SSH and get access to this box centrally. Then is a branch type, whether it's a branch or a controller. When the time when the service was created, right? So when this box was onboarded, right? So we can see that over here, it was onboarded on October 17th, 7:21 p.m. The second one is service start time. So this is basically, it will tell you when the service got restarted. Let's say this box got rebooted or sometime back. You get to know about that. The next section is software version. So we can have different software versions. Like you can see over here, this box software version is 16.1 R2S8. The above one is 16.1 R2S9. So it will show you what is the software version of the box without even logging into the box. So earlier we used to log in into Cisco IaaS routers. We used to type show version to get to know what is the version of the box, right? Now it is not required because you already have a glimpse of all these parameters. Next is the site ID. Site ID is very unique to the site and also to within the our director organization. So you cannot have an overlapping site ID just to ensure that we have some sanity in our work, right? So next it will show you this CP belongs to which organization, right? So this is basically a cluttered view, right? So you want to see this organization belongs to which customer, right? You also, if you have a link ID or if you have a CP host name, you have options over here. You can basically click on this filter tab, select the CP type as name. You can either click on equal or not equal, type the name, right? So let me type, I'll just try to give, equal. Right? So it will try to list me down what all parameters are captured as part of KOL and -1. Right? So it's listing me down all these parameters. Right? So this is about it. Next, let's discuss a bit more. Let's say I want to see, I want to SSH into the router. You select the appliance, click on the appliance SSH shell. It will open a SSH window for you. So you have to type in the username and password. It will log in into the shell. Then you type CLI, and here you get to see all the parameters whichever you want to check. Right. It will show you what is my WAN IP, what is my LAN IP, and all those information. Right. Let's move on. Next, if you want to export the configuration and give it to the customer, right? So your customer is giving you a call. He wants to understand what is the configuration on his router. You just click export. This will give you a downloadable format of the config. So you can save it and you can export it to the customer. Next, let's say there was a bug or there is a scheduled software upgrade defined for this box. Select the appliance, click on the upgrade selected appliances tab, click on the package name. So there will be a list of package name. Consult your engineering team for the supported software release standard for this box, right? Then you have an option over here to click on upload only, which will ensure that it is basically SFTP or a FTP. It will FTP this image to the CP. It will not upgrade the appliance. If you don't check this box and click OK, what it's going to do is it's going to upgrade the box. Okay. And it is going to do that sequentially so that you can also track that in the task window. So we'll discuss more. So let's talk about the task window, right? Task window is a place where you will see task window is a place where you see what all are the tasks created. Let's say you're committing a change to the CP, right? It will show you as apply template device. Like it will also show you which user initiated the commit, which all devices the commit was applied to, and what was the timestamp. So you can also track when this, so you also have an audit track. Right? And if you upgrade the device, after you click on this and this, it is also going to create a task. So you need not log in into the box or take a console of the box. It is going to give you an upgrade task window, and it's going to tell you whether it has uploaded the image, has it initiated the upgrade, and has the upgrade been successful. All this can be monitored in the task window itself. Next. So here is the notification window. Again, this is specific. Again, for us as a multi-service provider, it is not much of helpful. Let's say a customer is going for an on-prem deployment of say 100 sites or 200 sites, right? So in that case, customer can log in over here to see whether a device is up, down, and all those information. The I window basically gives you the information about what is a package name, what is a OS which is running on this box, right? Next, commit template. Commit template is when you have a template. Let's say I'm selecting a template. I want to apply it to an appliance. You select the template name, select the appliance you want to commit to. You also have an option to click here as a view. Let's say there is already a configuration on the box. You are overwriting that configuration. You want to know whether that configuration is right or wrong. You click on view button. It's going to give you a view between what is the existing configuration and what will be the post configuration, which is after the commit is applied. So you can validate that and then do the change. If there is no changes, it's going to show you there is no changes, which means everything is in sync. If you see out of sync, it means that the template data and the appliance level data are not matching, and after the commit, this will be back to sync. Okay. Next. Inventory. Inventory is a place where we have options like image, which has the list of images required. Inventory, images, right? So this will contain the package names for the director, edge SDWAN routers, right? So this is a place where we as engineering will upload the more specific and custom build releases specific to the customers. Like for example, some customer might have a bug, the other customer might not have that bug. So based on that, we will keep uploading the appropriate images, and soon the NOC teams will take over that. So all those things will be available here centrally. So anyone who wants to understand what is a package name or when was it uploaded, all this information is available under inventory image. Hardware, again, it will give you a list of device name, device serial number, which organization it belongs to. All this information is available in a centralized place. Let's say you want to see for a specific organization, you have a filter button over here where you can select for which organization you want to see the device inventory. For which organization you want to see the device inventory. Right? So over here, you can see that this is the host name and this is the serial number that belongs to this particular host name. And in case if you want to go for an RMA, you can just select this appliance, click on replace serial number and type in the new serial number, which is going to the customer's location. So this will initiate the revalidation of the entire process, and the new device will be onboarded quickly. Security packages. Security packages is a place where we get the dynamic updates related to bugs, any viruses, malwares, new URLs discovered. So Versa's research team, so they will query with multiple service providers and they will give us a security pack update. So that will be available over here. We can select this package similar to the image packages and we can update it to an appliance. We can select the appliance to whichever appliance you want to apply that security pack to. And this will upload and as well as install the package. Security pack updates are non-service impacting, so you can do it. But although since there is a high chance of any software related issues, so it's advised to do this only on off working hours of the customer. Yeah. So these two won't be relevant for this training. Yeah. Let's move on to the workflows. Okay, workflows is a place where we talked in the training more about the different types of service automation that we are doing. Service automation that we are doing. So as part of that, we have different flavors, right? So we have a workflow for creating templates. A template is nothing but a subset where we will create n number of configuration lines using just a few touches of a button, right? So first we're going to create a template workflow. So I'm assuming a phase when we have all done the initial parameters, right? So first we're going to create an organization using workflows. Once an organization is created, we know what the customer's network design is going to be. A customer's network design can be a full mesh architecture, a hub and spoke architecture, right? Based on that, we're going to create templates. So a template can be a pure full mesh template, a hub and spoke template, right? Or it can also be in different formats as we design it to be. So let's say, so based on that, right? So we are going to, so once you've created a template, the next step is creating a device workflow. So now you're going to ask me, what do we do with that? Right. So in device workflow, we define what is the CPE's host name, what is the serial number, and to which template should I associate this device to, right? So I'm hoping everyone is in line with where I'm getting at. So First, you create an organization. That's a one-time process. You're done. Second step, you create a template. You define what all parameters are required. You need an interface. You need BGP between MPLS, CFI MPLS and the router. And you have done some static routing on the LAN side to reach the customer subnets. Right? Done. You have deployed the template. Now, you create a device. You associate the device serial number, device host name to the template. Is a place where you do that is called as device workflow. Let's get into that. So I'm just going to quickly run through on how do you create an organization. So I'll just open an existing organization and show you that. Right. So first we type what is a organization name. So here there's an example of ACG, which is our existing MPLS customer. This is an automatically populated information, which is global organization ID. Do not attempt to change this unless and until there is any error during the provisioning state. Next step, you define which is your controller as part of POC. Since it's a POC, I'm selecting POC controller and I'm going to click on next. I'll add an analytics cluster if there is none. Routing instance. This routing instance is created by default. It's not created. Just in case you want more than one LAN VRF, only in that case you click on an add button and add another LAN VR. Otherwise, this is auto provision. You need not do any more changes. Supported user roles. Here, all this data will not be available by default. So it will be available on the left pane, which is available. You need to manually select and add which kind of user roles you want to give for this organization. So since we are going to give read-only access to the customers, only operator level privileges are required for this customer. Okay, let's move on. Templates. So over here we have templates, application templates, spoke group templates, service chain. Okay, we'll discuss more on that. So as part of this particular walkthrough, we're just going to see what the template looks like. So template workflow, I'm just going to open one template workflow and going to run you through it. So you basically click on plus sign and you define the template name. So we have a standard for that. So you'll get to know more on that once you are on field. So you define the template name. You define which organization it belongs to. You define whether the template is a full mesh or a hub and spoke. For hub and spoke, we have to create hub template separately, spoke template separately. Only then you can associate it. Then you define which is the controller and so forth. So I think this I've already covered in another training slide, but just I'm giving you a quick glimpse. Then you define what are the number of WAN links you require. You need one link for MPLS, one link for internet, and one link for your LAN, which is customer facing link. What kind of routing is required? So you just need a static route on your LAN. Do you need a local breakout? Yes. So we just select customer's LAN VR. We select what is my internet facing interface, internet, and select the DIA knob. So this will by default generate a NAT configuration and it will apply it on the box. You need not do anything about it. And just click on create. It's going to create a template by the name ACG DC. Okay. Next, we are going to associate that to the device. So as I told you, I'm checking an example of entertainment. Okay, let's go back to ACG, right? So because we are discussing on that. Right, so ACG. So I'm defining the CP host name, which is as per my definition. What is the serial number? Now here there is a concept called as device groups. So basically we create a device group with a device group name, which starts with DG, DC. Device group, organization name, which template it belongs to. Then we are going to select what is the template name I'm going to associate it. So device group is a place where we map a device to a template. Okay. So I'm creating one now, right? So now this serial number will belong to this device group, which is called as DG, ACG, DC. Okay. Then there are normal data which has to be filled. Where is the location of the box? What is the address, so that we can geotag that. Next is bind data. Bind data is a place where you will now tell what is an actual IP address which has to be there on the internet facing link and what is the MPLS IP. So in the template, you just define what is your network architecture. Once you have defined your network architecture, you need to fill in the information which is required for the router to communicate with the controllers, which is basically the IP address information. So once you have done that, you will click on deploy. It will deploy this configuration. Now once the device comes for a zero touch provisioning, it will be able to discover the controllers seamlessly, right? Next. So the next tab we are going to discuss about is configuration. Configuration is a broad, what I would say is a broad option, because it contains a lot of more information than the other tabs, specific to our deployment and management. Okay. So under configuration tab, the left pane will show you the list of all the customers that we have deployed. You can click on the organization name, or you can also search for that organization name. Templates tab will show you the list of created templates belonging to this organization alone. It's not going to, so every organization you click, only those specific organizations templates will be visible for you. It will not show you any template belonging to any other customer. So, okay. Next is the devices tab. So devices tab, if you just hover your mouse above it, you're going to see three different row items. One is devices, device groups, and device bind data. Right. So we're going to, let's go back to an organization which has small number of boxes. Okay, let me click on devices. So by default, once you come into the configuration tab, it might either be on a templates, device templates, or devices. So devices is going to show you all the organizations which are belonging to this customer ACG alone, and it's not going to show you anything else. So you can either log into the box using from this prompt, or you can also use administration appliances tab. Second option under configuration devices is device groups. Just before this step, we just observed how to create a device group. So we just created a device group called as DG, ACG, DC, right? So here it's going to show you that this particular device with this particular serial number belongs to this template. Okay, so this information is available here. Next is device bind data. So bind data is a place where we can see what is the actual configuration which we have fed into the box. Like what is the WAN IP address, what is the LAN IP address, what is the static routes, next hop and destination IP addresses, and all this information is available here. You can edit this information if anything is incorrect, but editing it in the device bind data is not suggested, and always use device workflow to make any changes. Objects. So objects is nothing but if people who are familiar with firewalls, right? So you create a network interface, then you map it with a name, right? So as simple as that. So these objects are nothing but you create. So one is your transport domain. Okay. So transport domain, as we discussed earlier in the training, is more about the ability of this particular link to form SLA with only that specific transport domain's link. Let's say internet, which belongs to transport domain NSP2, can only form SLA with another link which has the same transport domain name, which is NSP2. Okay. Let's move on to monitor. Under monitor, you will get to see organizations and as well as the director. So the director is just going to show you what is the system health of the director. So director is going to show you the system health of the director. Next, if I want to see what is the performance, what is the, let's say, what is the health status of my organization, right? So this is basically a customer specific view, but we can use it for our purposes as well. It's going to show you that I have so many links, which so many devices which are up, which let's say 8 have reachability up, services up, and if there is any down links, like for example, out of my 21 devices interfaces, 3 links are down, it's going to show you a summary report of it. Next, so summary tab basically gives you an information about your deployed devices, link status, BGP status, and the service availability status from the director standpoint. Next is the devices tab. Devices tab is going to show you the list of devices. So this is same as you had in configuration. Okay, let's move on to monitor. Under monitor, you will get to see organizations and as well as the director. So the director is just going to show you what is the system health of the director. So director is going to show you the system health of the director. Next, if I want to see what is the performance, what is the let's say what is the health status of my organization, right? So this is basically a customer specific view, but we can use it for our purposes as well. It's going to show you that I have so many links, which so many devices which are up, which let's say 8 have reachability up, services up, and if there is any down links, like for example out of my 21 devices interfaces, 3 links are down, it's going to show you a summary report of it. Next, so summary tab basically gives you an information about your deployed devices, link status, BGP status, and the service availability status from the director standpoint. Next is the devices tab. Devices tab is going to show you the list of devices. So this is same as you had in configuration and administration tab. So even from here you can access it into the device and you can export all the information, but the advantage is you just click the link, click the appliance name, it's going to go into the device level. Let's say a customer calls in and says, I want to see what is my live link utilization, right? So you click on that link, you will land on this page. Over here you will see summary, services, system, tools. So these are all device specific information which you see. So you can see there are 3 interfaces over here, VNI 0.1, 0.4 and 0.4.2. Okay, and over here if you see, you can see the live status of the traffic on the links. You can X out whatever information you don't want to see. Like let's say you just want to see what is the traffic going on NSP3 RX and NSP3 TX. So basically uplink and downlink traffic. So you can see that the link utilization right now is something around 52 KB, which is very less. Right? So by this way, you can tell the customer what is the current link utilization. At the same time, it's also going to show you the health monitor status of the links and the adjacencies and the paths. Next, services. Services tab is a comprehensive page wherein you need not even log into the box using a SSH. Let's say you want to check what is the interface status. Under networking, click on interfaces. It is going to show you every information which you would get from us logging into the CLI mode. Right? So you want to see what is the RX, TX, whether the link is up or not, you get to see over here. You want to see what is the route in the LAN VR of the customer. Select the drop down as LAN VR. You will get that information here. Right? So these are all the routes which are available and what are the associated next stops for that. Okay. Next, if you have any BGP adjacency, so this is with the controller. You can also select whether you want to see for LAN VR. It will show you over here. Similar for other protocols like OSPF v3, OSPF v3, BMT, DHCP, COS, VRRP. And if you want to see ARP, again, well and good, you can check it over here. What are the ARPs that I've learned for this from this particular box? IPSLA is similar. It's not similar to Cisco. It is different. We just do ICMP based IPSLA. This is different from the IPSLA we discussed in the training. So services. Under services, we have SD-WAN. So it's going to show you the policies that you have defined. Right? So it's going to show you the sites, aggregate traffic, transport paths. Let's say from this box to the spoke location, NESD spoke A, what all are my paths, whether the traffic is encrypted or unencrypted. As you can see, there are two tunnels between this box to the NESD spoke A. One is a VXLAN, one is a ESP path. Then you can see branch to branch IPsec security associations. It has security association with the following routers. Next is system. System will basically tell you what is the live health status of the box, what is the CPU, memory and RAM status of the box, and at the same time it will also tell you what is the manufacturer details of the box. Next, associated temp. So now when you go into the appliance level, it will also tell you which device group it belongs to and what is the template name. So you need not go into multiple touch points of going into configuration, device groups and finding out this template belongs to whom. You can just click on that appliance name, come to systems tab, see what is the template name it is associated to. It will give you that info. Next is tools tab. Tool is nothing but a troubleshooting tab for you. It is going to show you, let's say you want to ping some IP address to check whether the services are working correctly. You click, you type the IP. It is going to ping on the actual box and give you the output over here. So you're not logging into the box. It's pinging from the UI and fetching you that output and giving it to you. Again, the same thing goes for trace. Okay, so you see the trace output over here. In addition to this, it will also give you an option to do a TCP dump on the interface. So this is useful for people who troubleshoot, that you can select which interface you want to TCP dump, what is the kind of filter you want to apply, whether you want to apply a source IP based filter or a port based filter, and click on start. So what it's going to do is, it is going to apply the TCP dump command on the branch appliance. Let's say I just want to do a TCP dump for 10 seconds and filter ICMP, right? So it is going to run TCP dump on the branch appliance for 10 seconds. Once the 10 second is completed, it is going to give you a downloadable format of the packet capture, which you can see it in Wireshark. Right, so once the download is done, you will get a download button over here. So you also get a downloaded packet capture file. So let me show you that. So this is opened via Wireshark. So people who don't know about Wireshark is a packet analyzer tool. It's an open source. Anyone can download and install it. Okay, so that's about it, and thank you for watching.